actually the Venn diagram that we did in the last lesson. Okay, this is the information that we've been given. So they've given us our sample set, which is this first part over here, our sample space. Okay, sample space or our sample set, right? And from these numbers in our sample set here, we are going to pick out all the multiples of 3. So our subset A is going to be all the multiples of 3 in this data set that we've been given over here. So in these numbers that we've got, what are the multiples of 3, peeps? Tell me in the chat. Yo, beautiful. Rulani's already done with it. Okay, good. We've got 3, 6, 9, 12, and 15. Beautiful. Okay. Then in our subset B, we've got multiples of 5. So from the data we've been given, what multiples of 5 do we have? Good. We've got 5, 10, and 15. Good. Excellent. All right. So what we want to do with this set that we've got over here is we want to represent it on a Venn diagram. We want to represent this information on a Venn diagram. So we know that our sample set is the big rectangle. So all of these numbers are in the big rectangle, and the circles represent the subsets. So in subset A, I know that I have a 3, a 6, a 9, a 12, and a 15. Can anybody remind me, or can anybody explain, why do I put the 15 in between here where these two circles interlink? Mfundo.
Ma'am, we put the 15 in between the A and the B because it's both multiples of 3 and 5.
Beautiful, good. It's in both sets, right?
Yes,
beautifully done, well done. Excellent, that's exactly the answer I was looking for. Good, so I put the 15 in here, right? And then I'm going to take 5 and 10, and I'm going to put them in set B because that's what's missing. And 15 is already counted for because it's in between set A and set B. Now, am I done? Am I done? Is that all that I needed to do? No, not at all. Because my subset is still the rectangle and I need to include everything else that hasn't already been included in the subsets, right? So I know that 1, 2, 4, 7, 8, 11, 13, 14, and 16 have not been represented. So those have to go out into my big rectangle because that's part of the bigger sample set. So 1, 2, 4, 7, 8, 11, 12, 13, and 14, and 16. All right. Okay, Sinako, I'm going to take your question just now. I want to speak to Pamela first. Pamela, how are you doing?
Sorry, ma'am. I pressed the raising tonton hand by mistake.
Okay, that's okay, my sweetie. That's perfectly fine. Okay, I'm just going to put your hand down for you. Sinako, what's up?
Ma'am, does it matter where we put the numbers outside the board? Yes, ma'am.
Not at all, as long as they're in the rectangle and not in the circles. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. All right. Keegan is asking, do we get marks per shape? Yes. Okay. So it will always depend on how you draw you'll find that drawing the Venn diagram is worth 6 marks. And for every part that you do wrong, they will deduct a mark. Okay. But if you have the full Venn diagram done properly, you get all 6 marks. But if you make a mistake here or there, then they'll probably deduct a mark. Or they might already say 1 mark for the intersection, 1 mark for each subset, 1 mark for the numbers on the outside, and 1 mark for method, for doing it correctly, for putting the whole thing correctly. So maybe 5 marks, maybe not 6 marks. Okay, but it will depend on the criteria that your teacher has set. Okay. And there's no way anybody could get this wrong. Sometimes people don't 100% see it. Slay Queen, how are you doing, my sweetie?
Oh, I've had a terrible day.
Oh, my sweetie, I know Mondays suck, but what's up?
Ma'am, I was just going to ask, in the, what do you call this thing that looks like an oval but a deformed one? But that part, like where the two circles overlap,
Okay, yes.
that
A
thing.
default. Yes.
Could you have like more than one value in there, or is it just like one per se?
No, sometimes it's more than one value. It does
Okay.
happen that you have more than one value in there. You'll see in the next examples, like the next few examples, we'll see that we get more than one number. Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, my sweetie. Good
Toodles.
question. Yes. Oh, sorry, I muted you if you still have another question.
Oh, ma'am, I was also going to say, for what was it? I can't remember. Oh, so you said they don't mark you correctly if like you don't do the diagram itself, right? So like, does that mean you need to use a compass to like get the circles
in this
right?
case, okay, in this case, because they've given us a sample set with numbers in it, we must use the numbers, right? Okay, so in the next one that we're going to do over here, you're going to see that we don't actually need a sample set of specific numbers, we're just counting people. Okay, in this case, we're just counting people. So whatever we put in here on each of the circles will just be a number. Okay, it won't be like different numbers. It will just be one number in each. Okay, but in the case of this one, because we're using the actual physical numbers, we can get more than one. Okay. All right. Beautiful question, by the way. Excellent. Okay, that was a really good question. In this case, because our sample set has been given to us with numbers, then we use the numbers. But in this case, they're just giving us a total. So we're just going to write the total as a whole. Right, let's start with the first question over here. They say, there are 80 students in year 11. So what that tells me is that my sample set has 80 numbers in it. So S is equal to 80. That is our full sample set. Right. Then they say here, 9 students study French and German. Where does this 9 go, guys? When we hear the word and, what does that actually tell me, Mfundo?
Ma'am, it goes in between the circle G and the circle F in the middle.
Beautiful, because they do both. 9 students do both of them. So the 9 goes here. Okay, beautifully done. Yo, Mfundo, you're crushing it today. I'm loving it. All right, let's look at this next part that says here, 35 students only study French. Only, this word only is very important. What is that actually going to tell us about this French part over here? Mfundo, I see your hand is still up, so I'm going to pick on you again.
I think it's going to tell us that only like 35 students do French, so it's going to go in the F thingy, in the F circle.
Beautiful. We're going to put 35 here. Now I'm going to ask him, Mfundo, why didn't I say 35 minus 9 and then put that number there? Why didn't I put 26 here? Why did I put 35 over there?
Because, ma'am, only 35 students take French, not all 35 students take French and Germany.
Beautiful, good. This 9 over here is the ones who take French and German, but those who take French only are 35. So we need to be very careful. Yo, Mfundo, I feel like you could teach this lesson. Can I take a break? Do you wanna take over? Like, I feel like you can at this point. I don't know. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay, good job. Well done. All right. So the next part says here, 2 students do not study French or German. So where do I put this 2 students do not study French and German? Slay Queen, where do I put them?
You put them in the G. No,
they don't study French or German. They don't study any of them.
The circle, so sorry.
Beautiful. We put 2 outside the circle in the rectangle. Good. Now, my next question is going to be, how do we then calculate for German?
Flip, we've already done this. That's the thing. And like, I can't remember writing it down anyway. But I think I think you take the 35 and then you minus it by the 80, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
And then after that, I think you also minus it by the 9.
Yes, absolutely. So if there are 80 students altogether, and we already know that 35 and 9 and 2 of them are accounted for, we know that whoever is left is going to study German.
German.
Correct?
Yes.
German only. So we can set up an equation. We can call this part over here x, and we'll say x is equal to 80. Finish up for me. Minus what?
Minus 35.
Good.
Minus 9.
Beautiful.
And also minus 2, I'm guessing.
Yes, absolutely. Minus 2.
Okay.
And whatever answer we get there, that's how much we have for German. So can you do a quick calculator work for me and figure out for me how many students take German?
Love the chats. 34. We love the chat.
She didn't even pull out a calculator. She copied from the chat, guys.
Love the chats. They always
Lovely.
got my back.
See, I know it's the Watobe family. They're always going to give you the answer. But beautifully done. Well done, Slay Queen. That's
Thank
it.
you,
That's
ma'am.
the answer we're looking for. Kama, well done. Okay. Excellent stuff, guys. Now, give me a thumbs up if everybody understands how we've completed this question. Boitumelo has a question. Yes, Boitumelo.
Ma'am,
Yes.
I wanted to ask now, what if, like, instead of saying minus, like x is equals to 80 minus, can I put it like x plus 9 plus 35 plus 2, and then I add them together, then say x plus 46, it's equals to 80, then take the 46 to the other side, then minus it. Is it okay that way?
Absolutely. As long as you end up with the correct answer. So things like us being pedantic about the minusing and the pluses, these were things that we did in grade 8. In grade 10, if you already see the answer and you use your own method to find the answer, you get all your marks. Okay, it doesn't matter which method you use, as long as it's a sound mathematical equation. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Very welcome. Okay. Moliseni, yes, you're going to need the equation, okay, because you need to show the examiner or the tester how you got to your answer. Okay, you need to be able to show them. So a very quick calculation, you'll be able to figure that out. Okay, good question. Sinoguhle, what's up? Hello. Sure, Sinoguhle, your audio is not connected, so you're going to have to figure out how to connect it, please, my boy. Okay, because we can't hear you. Please check your mic settings so we can hear what you're saying. Oh, okay, Sinoguhle is saying it was a mistake. That's fine. Princess, how are we doing?
Hi, ma'am.
Hello, my sweetie. What's up?
Ma'am, I just wanted to ask. So I already understand this part, right? The part that's in terms of the Venn diagram is there by the A and not B, A or not B, not A and B, all of that. That's where
Okay, so that's what we're going to do now. Okay, that's what we're doing next in the example that I'm about to put on screen. Okay.
Yeah, because our teacher said that in the exam that we're gonna write on the 6th. So
beautiful. Okay,
yeah.
I'm about to explain all of that to you. Okay, Princess?
Okay.
All right, my sweetie. Good stuff. Jared, how are you doing, Jared?
Hello, ma'am. I just wanted to ask, if we use our own method in grade 11 or 12, would we get marked down for that?
You mean your own method in finding X?
Yes, ma'am.
No. Okay, as long as it's sound mathematics, unless you do something crazy, like say 100 plus 46 is equal to 34, then obviously those things don't sound like mathematics. Whatever way, I don't even think in matric they would even fault you for just going ahead and writing that X is equal to 34. Okay, because finding that number is such basic mathematics, we assume you already know it in matric. Okay. So you're allowed to skip steps. The older you get, the more steps you're allowed to skip, because we already know that some people can do these calculations in their head. So if you skip them, we're just going to assume that you did them in your head. But a question like this would probably be worth 1 mark. It's not even that deep. Okay, because we all know how to plus and minus. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Okay, good question. Mita, what's up? All right, we're going to be doing this next, peeps. We're going to look at this. Hi, Mita.
Hi, ma'am. My line kind of cut off when it came to the equation part.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go back to the equation part in just a little bit. Okay. I just want you to hold on for me. I will in just a second. Okay. I'm going to go back very quickly.
Thank you, Mom.
Okay. All right, my sweetie.
Thank you,
Okay.
Mom.
So just to answer Mita's question very quickly. Okay. We know that the class has 80 students completely. So if we know there are 35 only who study French only, 9 study both, and 2 don't study anything at all, that means the rest of the students must be studying German only. So the way for us to figure that out is we're going to say German or X, you can even call it G or X, it won't matter, plus 9, plus 35, plus 2, all of this together must equal the 80 students we have in the class or in the grade. So to find G, we can just take everything over. G is equal to 80 minus 35 minus 9 minus 2. And that's going to give us 34. Okay, so we know that 34 students study German only. Okay, Mita, give me a thumbs up if that makes sense to you in the chat. All right, Leah, what's up?
Hi, ma'am.
Hi, my sweetie, what's up?
Could you please go back to the equation of the Venn diagram?
Okay, I'm going there in just a second. Give me 1 second. Okay, I just want to do this very quickly. There we go. Okay, I just needed 2 of them because we're going to start our next example. For those of you who are doing the next example with me, please draw your rectangles and your 2 squares because we're about to get into it. Yes, Leah.
Ma'am, I just want to ask, like, in our class, like, we're doing this part of this Venn diagrams. So, like, today, say taught us something like about these 2 Venn diagrams. Like, there was this question about complete the Venn diagram. Like, like, but 9 students French and German, 35 is only study French, 2 students. Then like then Udile Awala NS, then go the marriage calls to 8 or sample space.
Correct. Okay, so there's a difference. So there's a difference between when we say the number of values in a sample space and the actual values in the sample space. Okay, so if I look at my sample space, let's count them. There are 16 numbers, correct? So the number of values in my sample space is 16, right? So if I count each of them, 1, 2, 3, if I count all of them, I must get 16 numbers. Okay, so that's why Sir says NS, right? Mara this example that we have here, do we need to count NS? We don't need to count NS because we've already been given the number of students. The number of students or the number in the sample space is already 80. Okay, in this example, let's look at this example that ma'am is about to give you here. Right, yeah. Okay, look here. How many numbers, how many values do we have in our sample space?
5.
5, correct, we have 5. So our sample space, our universal sample space, S, is A, B, C, D, and E. But the number of elements in our sample space is 5. Are you seeing the difference there? There's a difference between what the actual numbers are and how many numbers they are. Are you understanding?
So, like, yeah, like we can
okay.
Yeah, I get like the Venn diagrams, the circle Venn diagrams, they intersect.
Yes.
Then come home like Baruta Corninger. Oh, the only Ojere sample space 8, then G F, then Adis. Yamatom agree students French and German. Then the number are 35 minus 2 only we learn study French and we teach more students French and German. Then cara di sekel like onwala
there's an X, there's an X somewhere there, right? We're going to get to an example. Exactly, and I'll explain that to you. Okay, this is a completely different example. So when we get to that kind of example, I'll show you what we do. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Joanna, it's just different. This one is an easy example. We're going to do a different example. Okay. Hold on. I know exactly what you're talking about. We're gonna look at an example just like that. Okay. Okay. All right, my sweetie. Hold on for me, Leah. I'm not going to lose you, I promise. All right. Let's talk about all of these things called unions and intersections and complements, and let's see what they're actually about. So let's set up this Venn diagram that we've been given, guys. We've been given our universal sample set, which means this is our big sample set, S, right? So that is our rectangle, right? Then we're given two subsets, subset A and subset B, right? So let's add all of these things together. I know this is A and this is B, right? Let's start with the union, or not the union, sorry, the intersection. Which two of, or which values are going to be included in the middle over here? Which two letters are we going to put in the middle here? Amogelang?
Hi, ma'am.
Hello, my sweetie.
Can you please re-explain what you said to Leah? Because I didn't understand.
Leah is asking about a different example, and we're going to get to that example in just a little bit. Okay, so don't stress about that.
Am I also allowed to confuse people with my home language?
No. Let's not do that. Okay, sometimes there is a language barrier, and I just happen to be Betty. That's why I understand her very well. But unfortunately, that's the only language that I speak really well. Okay.
I'm speaking on behalf of other people. Because I understand.
Okay, no, let's not. Okay, I understand that. I understand. But I was going to translate into English either way. Okay, so don't stress. Okay, CD. Okay. We won't be. Okay, guys. Okay, let's stick to English to make it fair for everybody. Okay. All right. So we know in this part over here, we're going to have C and D, right? And then in subset A, I will still have an E. And in subset B, I will still have A, right? Am I missing any letter? Which letter goes on the outside of my sample space? Correct, Keegan. Nicely done. It's B. Okay, so let's talk about what these funky symbols mean. Okay, so union, if we see this, A-U-B, that U over there means union. Okay, it means union. And what union actually tells us is or. Okay, it means what values do we have that are both in A or B. So you can be in either of them and it won't matter. Okay, you can be in both. Okay, you can be in both circles. Okay, can be in both circles. No worries, Renee, welcome. We can be in both circles. Right, so if we look at the information we've got over here, which letters are in both circles? Which letters would make up A union B? Yes, Mfundo.
Ma'am, wouldn't it be C and D?
In all of them. It doesn't matter. You can be in both of them. Okay. You just have to be in one to be considered. Okay. So which ones would those be?
In both of them.
Yes. You can be in any of the circles. It won't matter. So it would have to be. You can be A because you're already in B, correct? You're already in part B. You can be E because you're already in A, or you can be C or D because both of them, all of these numbers are included in both. So the union means all of them together.
Oh, okay. I see it now. Okay.
All the numbers in A or B. So you can be in A, or you can be in B, or you can be in both, right? Okay. But before you go away, Mfundo, let's talk about the intersection. Okay, so the intersection would be A intersection with B. And B means, that is the intersection. And B means that you have to be in and means that. So you need to be in both subsets. You need to be in both A and B. So what would the intersection of A and B be?
C and D.
Correct, C and D, because you need to meet both conditions. Okay, are you understanding what I'm saying there? The difference between union and intersection?
Yes.
Okay, let me ask you one more question before you go. Right, I'm going to ask you for the A complement. Now the complement means not. Okay, complement means not in A. Okay, so which values are not in A?
Which values are not in A?
Yes.
B
and
A.
Correct, B and A. Those are the only two that are not in A. So this tiny little kapiki over here means not, and it's also called the complement. Okay, if they ever ask you for the complement, that's what it means. Mfundo, I swear, like I feel like you're trying to steal my job, because like every time I interact with you, you're giving me all the right answers and you know exactly what to do. And now I feel like, why am I here? Why am I teaching? I'm watching. I got my eye on you.
No, ma'am, that's the queen. She will take over your job one day.
Right? I agree, but I won't say it out loud because we don't want to anger the slave queen. She's perfect.
Yeah, no.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mfundo. Always doing the most. I love it. Guys, please ask and answer questions as much as you can. Hi, Sinako.
Can you please explain the part where it says A equals to not A there, ma'am?
Okay, so if we see, let's look at this first question over here, Sinako. It's saying that they want the A, and you see there's a bit of a dash here, right? There's like an A with a little apostrophe. This means they want the complement of A. So what they want is all the values that are not in A. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Which letters do not come up in the A subset?
In the A circle, ma'am.
Yes. Which values do not show up in the A circle? Which letters?
A, ma'am, and
A and
B.
Beautiful. Good. Okay. Before you go, Sinako, because I don't want to lose you, let's talk about the complement of B. So when they say the complement of B, what are they actually asking us for, Sinako?
The letters that are not in the A
Okay. Subscript. Okay. In this case, not the ones that are not in A, the ones that are not in set B. Correct. So here is set B. This is set B. So which letters are not included in set B?
Can you say E and A?
A is in here. A is in B. You're right. E is not in there, but what else isn't in there?
E and B.
B, correct. A, E, and B. Okay, do you see what the not means? Anything that is not part of that. Okay, are we happy here?
Yes, I'm thinking.
Okay, you're very welcome. Good question. Very good question. Jared, what's up?
Sir, I don't know why I don't understand this, but like if there's something in the big letter thingy, then do we put it in that circle, or how does it?
What do you mean? In if there's something in?
Like for B, ma'am, the big letter. I don't know what the complement, I mean.
Okay, so the complement means everything that is not in B. Right, so if we map out the circle of B, these are the only things that show up in B. So the complement is everything that doesn't. Okay. Which letters do not show up in the circle B? It would be B and E. Okay. Is that making sense?
Oh, yes. So we don't add it in the circle if it doesn't show.
Of course. Okay. If it doesn't show in the circle, it's the complement. So everything that's outside of the circle of B is the complement of B.
Oh, okay. Thank you, ma'am. Makes much more sense now.
All right. That's good. All right. Okay, cool. Let's look at this next one, guys. A union B. Now remember, A union B means you can show up in A or you can show up in B. So which sets show up in A or B? It doesn't matter. You can be in both. Which is those going to be? Pamela, which is those going to be? Correct. We know A shows up, C shows up. Hi, Pamela.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi, my sweetie.
Ma'am, can you please re-explain what you said about the AUB or the A?
Okay, so let's look at this now, Pamela. Let's look at the example that we've got here. The union means all, right? So let's say, for instance, let's make these two sports. Let's say this is athletics and this is basketball, right? So if I had to ask you, which people play athletics or basketball, who would we count if they play either of those sports?
Ma'am, choose E or A.
Correct, E or A. But what about these two people? Do they not play athletics or basketball?
Then they do.
They do. So we need to include them as well. Correct? They just so happen to play both.
Both.
You understand what I mean?
Yes,
okay. So when we look at the intersection, don't go away. Let's look at number 5. Number 5 says the intersection, so of A and B. So now the condition you need to meet is that you must be in both A and in B. Who is in both A and B? You have to meet both those criteria. Which one would that be?
Ma'am, it will be C, D, and
C and D. And is there anybody else who plays both athletics and basketball?
No, ma'am.
No. So the only two people who go into the intersection are the ones in the middle part. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it making sense?
A lot better, ma'am. Thank you.
Good. Thank you, Maswidi. Good. Excellent. All right, guys, don't be afraid to ask questions if you're stuck. Jessica, what's up?
Hi, ma'am.
Hi, Maswidi.
Ma'am, by 6, what we're going to do, I don't understand because you can't use A or numbers. Yes, number 7. I don't understand number 7.
Number 7. Okay, I'm about to show you now. We're going to take it slowly. Let's start with number 4. Did you manage to get an answer for number 4, Jessica?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what is the answer of A complement union with B complement?
B.
It's just going to be B. Excellent. Good. It's just going to be B because we know that we are not including everything in here and we're not including everything in here because it's the union. Correct? Excellent.
Yes,
all right, let's talk about number 6. What is the A complement intersection with B complement? What would we then have there?
Ma'am, I don't understand that one either as well.
Okay. All right. So let's go back to the actual A intersection B, right? If we look at A intersection B, that's C and D. So the complement of both of these things would be everything except these two things, right? What do we have left?
E and A and B.
Correct, E and A and B, because those are the two things that are not included, right? Because if I had to take A union B, or sorry, A intersection B, I would have to find only the middle part. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so actually, no, I think I'm lying to you. Okay, hold on. The complement of A, right? Intersection, okay, so that's the complement of A and B. And the complement of B would be that part, right? So let me just see if I'm correct. Okay, somebody's saying they don't understand number 5. Yes, okay. So the thing that we would want is everything that is not included in here, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
I'm lying. The answer would just be...
Number 7.
Yeah, the answer would just...
Number 7, it's very tricky.
Okay, let's have a look.
I don't understand.
Let's have a look. Okay, so okay, if we take number 6 slowly, I'm going to be wrong. This is wrong. Okay, let's take number 6 slowly. Let's look for the complement of A. Do you agree with me, Jessica? This is the whole of A, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So we can't take the complement of A, right? Intersection with the complement of B. Right, the intersection of A with the A with the intersection of the complement of B. So the answer that we should get is just this B on the outside. Okay, it should just be the B on the outside. So this answer over here will just be E. All right, let's look at number 7. Let's go look for the complement of A. What would the complement of A be?
E.
All right, but remember, complement means not A. Everything that's not in A. What is not in A?
It's going to be A and B.
Correct. But we also want the union of everything that's in B. So,
yes, ma'am.
Everything that's in A, correct? Oh, sorry, everything that's in B and the complement of everything that's not in there. So it must be just A and B.
B.
Okay. Is it making sense? So we need to find
yes,
what's not in it first in order to find out what it is. Let's talk about this one. Let's start with B. Let's find out what is not in B. Which two numbers are not in B?
E and B.
Correct. So E and B are not in B, right? But we also want the intersection of A as well. So we need to exclude E, or we need to include E, right? So our answer is going to be B and
B.
Correct. Okay. Is it making a little bit more sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, beautifully done. All right. Okay, Enke, what was the reason for what? Please help me out so I understand. Okay, before I continue, because it looks like a lot of you guys are a bit confused. Okay, just give me a thumbs up if you understand what's happening. Okay, Taven, cheers, see you in the next lesson. Give me a thumbs up if you understand. Give me a thumbs down if you do not. Cheers, Taven, see you next lesson. I will repeat number 5 and I will repeat number 7. Okay, I'm getting quite a few thumbs down, so I'm going to answer those very quickly. All right, let's go back to number 5. Remember, with number 5, guys, we want to know and. Okay, let's do this very quickly. Okay, raise your hand. Leah, I'm going to ask you to put your hand down for me for just 1 second. Okay. All right. Now, I want everybody to raise your hand if you take physics as a class at school. Use your reactions to, okay, show me how many of you guys take physics. All right, I'm counting. Okay, look at this old stuff that needs to go away. All right. Okay, excellent. So our poll at the moment is telling us that there are 22 people. Ugh, look at what I've done now. Okay, the poll at the moment is telling us that there are 22 people who do physics, right? Physics. Now, everybody put your hands down for me. Put your hands down. Hands down, everyone. Okay, hands down, everyone. Okay, let's do this. Hands up if you take life science. How many of you guys take life science? Don't start teaching. Don't start. Okay, cool. So I want you guys to note something. Okay. All right, so I had 22 people here and I had 43 people here, right? 43 people here. Everybody put your hands down. Hands down, everyone. If you take life science, hands down. Okay, excellent. All right, now let me ask you, how many of you guys take both physics and life science? Hands up. Okay, that's telling me 36 of you. Okay, I've got 36 people. So in the middle over here, I have 36. Okay, in a class full of let's say, how many students? Okay, yeah, this is already looking lopsided. I'm going to change this to 52. Okay, let's say there are, how many students altogether? 98. Okay, if there are 98 of us, there are 98 students altogether, right? 36 of you take both English, now I'm saying English, both physics and life science. Thank you, peeps. You can put your hands down. Right. You guys can put your hands down for me. All right. Now, I know that the people who take physics would have to be 52 minus 36. Okay. So I know that the number of people who take physics only would be 18 or 16, 16 people. Now, how many people take life science only, guys? How many people take life science only? Slay Queen?
Sorry, ma'am. Isn't it 43?
It's not going to be 43. 43 is everybody who takes life science. Remember, we've already counted some of you guys here, so we can't count you twice. So how many kids take life science only?
7.
How did they get 7? Because I don't want you to cheat. How did they
didn't they take that value? Didn't they take the life science value and minus it by the 36 value thingy?
Correct. They've taken 43 minus, correct. 43 minus that, minus 36. So that gave us 7. But now if we count all of these students together, 16 plus 36 plus 7 gives us how much?
Nowhere close to 98.
Nowhere close to 98. So what do we know about all the other students?
They don't take any of the subjects, so they'd be on the outside, I'm guessing.
Beautiful. Good. They'd be on the outside. This is physics. This is life science. How many kids would be on the outside? Let's count it. You just have to do that thing where we go x plus 98 minus, and the answer is?
46.
46, correct. So we know that there are 46 students.
Shout out to Stephen.
Right. Okay. So Slay Queen, let's talk. Don't go anywhere. Let's talk about this.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's look for the complement of physics. Okay. How many students do not take physics?
Wouldn't we add 36 by 7?
No, remember,
just go to
the kids here in the middle, the kids in the middle they do take physics. They just happen to take another subject as well.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So, then it would
so how many kids don't take physics? It would have to be?
It would be 7.
7 and?
7 and 43.
And 46. Remember, there are students who don't take either physics or life science. So it needs to be 7 plus 46. Remember?
Okay. Yeah, it's clicking now.
So 46 plus 7 would have to give us 53. So we know that the kids who do not take physics are 53. Okay. Are you with me here?
Yeah, I am.
Now, I say to you, what is the complement of life science? How are we going to figure that out?
Wouldn't we add the number?
Complement just means not. Who does not take physics?
16. And 46.
Correct. 16 and 46, both of them together. Okay. And that's going to give us what? 62? 62. Right, because that's 16 plus 46. Right. Now, if I said to you, I want the complement of P and the complement of L. Now I want the complement of physics and of life science. Okay.
So, ma'am, would you say?
Let's go to life science. This is the whole of physics. Are you in agreement? This is the whole of physics, right? And this is the whole of life science. So the complement is everything that is not in physics and in life science. What is left?
So it'd be 46.
46, correct. Okay.
Period.
Am I making sense now? Is it clicking a little bit better?
Yeah.
Okay,
Let me just
beautiful.
get this down.
Okay.
30. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll give you a second to write it down. Everybody else, give me a thumbs up if this example makes sense.
Okay.
This is much better. That's good. Okay, we're about to do the union just now. I'm going to do the union just now, Jared. Okay, I'm going to do the union. Okay, and there's like close enough. Okay, let me just make sure. Yo, somebody's starting financial what tomorrow. Okay, all right, let's talk about the complement of physics union with complement of life science. Okay, so, okay, let's go look for the complement of physics, which is this part, right? With the union, I'm seeing somebody saying ma'am, and I'm not sure who it is. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of hands and I'll take your hands just now. All right, so the complement of physics union with the complement of life science. Right, now the problem with this particular one is that this union is actually telling us that it's this part that they will have in common in the middle. So if we have a union and we want the complement of the union, it's going to be things that are in both. Okay, she's having technical issues. All right, so Jared, to explain, correct. So to explain, the complement of the union means that you cannot do physics or life science, but you can do physics and life science. Am I making sense? So the complement of P union with complement of L would be this thing in the middle over here, plus that 46 over there. Okay, so we will have 36 plus 46. Okay, Jared, let me know in the chat if it's making a little bit more sense. I hope I haven't lost you. Yes, in this case, it has to be both. Okay, that's what I'm saying. In the case where it's the union, it has to be things that are not in just physics and not in just life science. So if you are a life science or that only, then you don't count. You only count if you're both of them. Okay. If we got rid of the complement sign, no, it wouldn't. If we got rid of it, if we wanted P union L, that would be everything, this and that all together. So you'd have 16 plus 36 plus 7. Okay. So we would have to add all of them together in order to get just the union and not the complement. Okay. Okay, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. Nshamulo, what's up? Hi, Nshamulo.
Hi, ma'am. It was a mistake. I since left my hand up.
Oh, okay. That's okay, my sweetie. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. All right. Babalwa, I see your hand is up, my sweetie. What's up?
The union and
yes.
Okay. So with the union,
yes.
Is it what's inside the circle? Like what's inside A?
Okay, yes. So if you just have union, A union B, it's everything in both circles. So you can do athletics or basketball or both. You can do all of it. Okay.
Okay. Uh-huh.
All right. So that's the union. The intersection is you have to do athletics and basketball in order to qualify. So athletics and basketball is only the people in between because they're the ones who do both. Okay.
Okay.
Are you with me?
Uh-huh.
All right. So that's the difference. Is that okay?
Okay,
Did I explain your question? Okay. Yep. Cool. Excellent stuff.